Hello, good morning everyone. Well, I thought I would do something a little bit different this morning and talk to you instead of just writing down. I've been doing my blog less recently. It's not because I don't have anything to say. Anyone that knows me knows I always have something to say. It's just that, I've been busy working, as most of you probably appreciate, and sometimes we've covered a lot of topics, and so I wait until I have something really important to say. This morning, however, I'm making a video and I don't have something important to say particularly, but I just thought that I would catch up with everyone and to create a vlog for once, which I thought would be something different. So I thought I'd just talk about what it really means to be a writer, and if there is a defined point for those of you out there that write where you identify yourself as a writer. It's very interesting to me because there's a time when we are indulging in our writing when it's really no more than a hobby. So where do we start taking that more seriously? If your intention is to become a published writer, to have success, to get an agent, publisher, etc., then you really have to start seeing your writing more as a career move. But it takes a lot of honing, a lot of developing those skills, and hence why I always suggest writing courses, reading plenty of writing books, being discerning about those that are helpful. There's a few on my website actually that I found particularly useful. And really there's no substitute for actually writing. But because writing is a solitary endeavour most of the time. I know I need silence, I don't need music, I don't need other distractions, I just throw myself into the writing. We are working alone a lot of the time, and so what really is needed when you're learning to write is constructive feedback. Writing groups are good if you find a good writing group, otherwise you can be misled by people that don't really know, that haven't really had great success. So find a good writing group, look at the courses that are available to you, and just basically develop the skill and grow a thick skin, because I think that my approach is to be kind, but you've got to be honest. And there's no point having somebody critique your work and help you if you're very resistant to that change, because you're never going to develop. So you have to do that. And just write. And if you're really serious about writing, you show up every day and you sit at your computer and you write. That you don't just wait for the muse to hit you. And I think I've talked about this on my blog. Imagine if you're working and your boss says, "Have you done that? Have you completed this?" And you say, "Well, I was waiting for the right mood to capture me." It doesn't work that way. You've just got to do it. If you're serious about it, you've got to put in the practice. You've got to put in the hours. And you've got to read. You would be amazed how many people I work with where it's quite evident from what I'm looking at that they haven't read a book. They certainly haven't taken lessons from books. So while the shaping of the story can be totally skewed, even the formatting, even the laying out of dialogue, all those simple things that you get a natural feeling for because you read, it's not there. And if you're not a reader, how do you know your market? And how do you reading is this wonderful thing. If you're not reading books, how can you really be qualified to write books and to expect people to read them? And so I've always done lots of reading. I find it hard sometimes when I'm working really long hours, as I have been recently, to find the time needed to then read for the enjoyment. But I think you make the time. I'm up very early because I'm usually writing pretty early, and so I tend to give half an hour before I start to just sit and read. And then I often read a little bit in bed, although sometimes that feeling when you're nodding off, because I have long days, but I still find the time, and I think it's really important, and I love it. I love reading. I've just finished reading Matt Haig's The Humans. I love it. Quirky, original, different. If you haven't read it, it's my recommendation for Monday. So I'm just about to do a little bit more working on my Chutney novel, which will be ready to go, hopefully, touch wood, off to be looked at again next week. And I am then off to the gym. And as you know, I'm a bit of a gym bunny as well. But that's because I spend so much of my life sat still. It's really important to have the, interaction with other people when you work for yourself, but also, healthy, they say healthy body, healthy mind. And I do think that makes a difference. So this is me this morning. I will do some blogging later in the week. I've been looking particularly, for example, at character arcs recently. I was asked to do that for my writing group. So I may talk to you about character arcs and a book that actually is really useful for that. But I won't be checking in every single day, and you can rest assured I'm still here and that I'm actually working on my book and my own editing. I have one spot available for mentoring if there is anyone that still wants that, but that does require a commitment from you and for us to work together. But have a look at my website. Okay, well, thanks for listening.